Yes, sirs. What is going on, Pacer Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Pacers live stream. And guys, in dramatic fashion, in the way only the Indiana Pacers can do it, coming back from a 19-point deficit in the second quarter, the Indiana Pacers beat Cleveland in Cleveland again, winning by a total of 114 to 105. And Indiana sends Cleveland packing. They take the East semifinals win in the series 4-1. And the Indiana Pacers, your Indiana Pacers, are heading back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight year. It is the first time in over a decade that the Pacers have accomplished this feat, and we will still need to know who we're going to play. Will it be the New York Knicks or will it be the Boston Celtics? We're not 100% sure yet, but I'm sure we will find that out here very soon. Cody, I mean, what a wild game here. The Pacers came out as flat as anything ever, and it sure looked like a quarter and a half through this game that it was about to be a blowout. I mean, we were starting to wonder what was going on with this Pacers team.
Yep.
And they started to put it together, man, and from that moment forward, the Pacers dominated the game.
Yeah, that first quarter definitely had remnants of game 3. And it's like, oh boy, here we go again. Do we go one really good game, and then all of a sudden you just start out flat, and then you just can never fully recover. But yeah, to the Pacers' credit, after really that forgettable first quarter, it really was Pacers from then on, right? Yeah. Even that second quarter. I know that they still trailed at the half, but that's how bad that first quarter was. And then pretty much from there, Pacers took care of business when they needed to. So yeah, man. And all that being said, doing it against the home crowd, against the Cavs at home, you never an easy place to win, especially because, dude, the Cavs, number 1 seed, like their fans, you knew that, they were going to come out swinging, and they definitely did to start this game. I mean, what do they say? Like some of the most dangerous, things are like when, for example, the most dangerous animal is the one that's backed into a corner, so that's going to be true. Like when the Cavs have nothing to lose, they're going to play like it. And they definitely did in this game. So yeah, absolutely. Great response from the Pacers after that tough first quarter. And they hung in there when they needed to, Derek, and ultimately took care of business in that second half. And, the Cavs had a couple runs where, they had a couple, guys that would come in and, start shooting these wild threes and just get really hot. And it looked like, oh boy, it could go back the other way. The Cavs could start getting momentum, but then when it mattered the most, the Pacers took care of business. And man, shout out to Miles freaking Turner, man. Started out kind of rough in that game. He had the game-winning shot, or I guess the game-sealing shot, if you will, in this one. So shout out to him, man. I mean, absolute rock star stuff there from Miles Turner. So you absolutely love to see it, man. And we'll have to see, man, does the series tomorrow, is it over? Do the Knicks take care of business? And do we have another rematch of the, semifinals from a year ago of the Eastern Conference? So it'll be quite interesting to see how tomorrow plays out. But yeah, definitely awesome to see. And, a game that you had to have. I mean, Rick Carlisle talked about it, Derek. This was a game you had to have urgency. You had to come out and play your best. And obviously the Pacers didn't to start, but when it mattered the most, they made the shots they needed to make. They got the stops they needed to have. And we all know the Cavs are never fully out of it either. So they're fully capable of coming back and winning that game. So,
and this game was ultimately decided by the most overrated player in the NBA, in Tyrese freaking Halliburton. 36 minutes tonight, Cody. 31 points on 67% shooting, 60% from three-point range, and also went 5 of 6 from the free throw line, had 6 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal. I mean, Cody, this might have been Tyrese Halliburton's best game of the playoffs so far. It's definitely his most dominant performance, a game in which almost everyone else offensively was struggling today on the Pacers side, and Halliburton put the team on his back. And we kept saying it, man. The Pacers, they play the ultimate team ball. They don't ever require anyone to do one specific thing over the other. Just everyone plays their roles. Well, tonight was a night when somebody needed to provide a spark. And when Halliburton just made those 3 straight threes in that second quarter to start bringing them back into the mold, I knew this game was about to start making a turn, man. Tyrese Halliburton, MVP of the game. I mean, what more can you say about what he did tonight?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he took it over, man, and he needed to. I mean, especially because, Derek, we remember what happened in Game 3. Like, when the Pacers started out slow, Halliburton didn't do much in that game. Like, he did not control that game at all, right? So you needed your best player, your franchise guy that you just gave that massive deal to. You needed him to come out and deliver when it mattered the most, and he did tonight. You know, you don't often require Tyrese to go for 30, like at this point, because you have so many guys that share the basketball. Like you said, they're the ultimate like definition of a team. I mean, they really are. Like, they're unselfish. You don't have to have 1 or 2 guys taking all or half or all the shots, you know, like you don't have to do that. So, but yeah, Tyrese, when he needed to, he came up huge in this game. And honestly, Derek was a big proponent for that comeback. When the Pacers were down as much as I think it was 19 at one point, like, he was a huge proponent, hit some big shots there and helped the Pacers get back into it, and not just get back into it, but start to take a decently sizable lead there. So, yeah, I mean, he was definitely a huge spark in this game for that comeback for the Pacers there after the rough first quarter from the team. So, yeah, I mean, your superstar, you needed him to step up, and there you go, man. What the Halliburton, man.
Yeah, man. You weren't wrong, man. It was the Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland show again. I told you, shot 41 times today. Cody, that accounted for 48% of the team's total shots in this game. So if that gives you any indication of it, I saw a stat here, Cody. I have to tell this to the audience. The Cleveland Cavaliers at home this season, and one of the wildest stats you'll ever see, Cody. The Cleveland Cavaliers this season, 0-5 against the Pacers.
Wow.
Do you know what their record was against everyone else? 36-5.
Wow.
They were 0-5 against the Pacers at home all season long, and they were able to destroy almost everyone else at home. I mean, it's phenomenal what the Pacers did. And again, you won this game in 5. The Indiana Pacers won every single game on the road in this series. Wild. I can't freaking believe it.
And even further than that, Derek, they have not lost, I don't think, unless my memory is wrong, they have not lost on the road in the playoffs this entire year. Is that right? I don't think they have. Was that first game, was that in Indiana? Or maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe it was
tell me that again.
The Milwaukee one. Okay, did they lose in Milwaukee? I know they won that in 5. I can't remember. Did they lose that? Or was that at home or away?
I think they lost. I think they lost game 3 in that series too.
Was it?
So in both series, they've lost game 3.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to remember. Was that in Milwaukee or was that in Indiana?
That would have been in Milwaukee.
Okay, never mind. Ignore that stat. But still, that's pretty darn impressive.
I believe.
They've lost 1 game and 2 series on the road. That's impressive.
And, you know, again, Tyler Robertson bringing it up. People are still going to say the Cavs were injured and that the Pacers aren't legit. I mean, Cody, no doubt that when it came to the Indiana Pacers playing this series, no doubt that obviously Garland was not 100% early in this series. And obviously Donovan Mitchell was practically on one ankle for this last game specifically. But I mean, the problem that you had with the Cleveland Cavaliers is it is not the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers had all these injuries. That's not what lost them this series. They ultimately lost this series because they relied upon Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland to be the heroes.
Yep.
They needed those two guys to be the heroes of this game, and they failed to deliver. They failed to deliver. There is not two more overrated players in the NBA through this playoffs right now than Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland. Looking at what Donovan Mitchell did today, another 38 minutes, Cody. Again, a guy who couldn't even play 2 nights ago in the second half because of that ankle, and he played 38 minutes tonight on one ankle, shot 8 of 25. He shot 30%. He shot the same from 3-point range, but yet went 15 of 21 from the free throw line. So again, even at the free throw line was a liability, only shot 70%. I mean, Donovan Mitchell, his numbers look amazing from the standpoint of if you don't look at an efficiency rating. If you look just at the numbers, 35, 9, 1 with 4 steals and a block. Amazing stat line. If you ignore how did he get those 35 points? Right. How did he get those 35 points? You got 45% of your points by going to the free throw line because the NBA told its officials to literally call every foul every single time you attack the lane. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And it gives basketball a bad name because everyone looks at it and it's like, can we not reward these guys for fishing for contact? Like, it's getting annoying as hell, to be honest with you.
It's been that way for a long time, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, you're right, because I'm just thinking, man, oh my gosh, like the Pacers even got half of those. Like, you didn't hardly even have to touch Donovan Mitchell, and there was a foul. If the Pacers got half of those, this wouldn't have even been a close game, Derek. Like, that's how crazy it is.
Folks, he had 21 free throw attempts tonight. The Pacers had 22.
And it's not like an isolated thing. This is like every time they've played, it's been the same thing.
Every single time. And you're about to potentially play a team in the Knicks, potentially, with a guy that does it even more in Jalen Brunson. Literally flops every single time he gets touched. Like, I'm about to lose my hair in this next series. Because, like I love watching Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson actually play ball, but I get sick and tired of watching these guys flop all the time. And then when the Pacers got foul calls, the Cavs were like acting like, what in the world? Like, you guys got way more free throw attempts than the Pacers did. You almost doubled their free throws again, almost doubled their free throws, and yet you complain about getting foul calls against you. It's freaking ridiculous.
It is, but hey, you know what? We're moving forward. Pacers took care of business despite that, and just insane. Like, yeah. Donovan Mitchell has more free throws made than the Pacers have attempted. That's pretty insane, dude. But yeah, I mean, overall, though, Derek, even though you started out rough in this game, I mean, again, Derek, we've talked about it how many times, like, this team you can never count them out, even if they're down by what seems insurmountable at times. I mean, this team's ability to shoot the basketball, even if they start poorly, like they were bad to start this game. Like, you're like, what is going on? Like, you were so good a couple nights ago, and then it's like a complete change in that first quarter, and you're like, what happened? And you're like, okay, well, like, from what they've done this season, they're likely, unless it's another, outlier game, they're likely to find their shot eventually. And they did. So I think it was, I don't remember the stat, but I remember like that first quarter compared to the rest of the game was just like night and day, like from a shooting percentage wise. It was crazy.
Yeah. And real quick, just again to hammer this point home, and then we'll move on and go to the actual team stats. Cody, again, for people's context, for anyone that watches this and wonders why the Cavs lost this series, it's not because of injuries. It's because in the first half of this game, in game 5, the 3 other starters that were playing, Cody, for that, Evan Mobley, I think he was 4 of 7 in the first half. Jarrett Allen was, I think, 3 of 4. Or actually was 3 of 3. And then I think DeAndre Hunter was even 4 of 4 in that first half. So your other role players were playing very well. They were shooting the ball well. And that was how Cleveland got ahead of the Indiana Pacers, because they were getting other people involved. And then in that second quarter, it became the Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell show. They were 5 of 21, Cody, in that first half. 5 of 21. And then you wonder why the Pacers started coming back, because the Pacers started making their shots, and then Cleveland just started missing because Donovan and Garland were just taking awful shots. They just kept taking whatever shots they wanted because they thought they could get contact. And when they didn't, they were taking awful shot attempts instead of getting other people involved. So,
and that's why it's, there's no I in team. That's why, Derek, the very definition of why the Pacers were able to do it and why the Pacers have been able to, especially the last 2 years, take down some of these teams that don't have the good role players, that don't have the depth. It's because the Pacers don't rely on one guy. Do they have some very talented guys? Yeah. You could say they have their big three, right? They got Tyrese, they got Pascal, they got Miles. But they also have guys like Andrew Nembhard, guys like Aaron Nesmith, guys like Benedict Mathurin, although he had an up and down game. You know what I mean? Like, they have other guys that can come in and provide quality minutes. I didn't even mention Obi Toppin, another name, TJ McConnell. Like, the list goes on. Like, they just have a ton of guys that can come in and provide quality minutes. And yeah, they're not going to be to the level of the starters, but it's not going to be this drastic drop off where it's Tyrese and Pascal taking every other shot, And that's what matters in these playoffs. When you go to 5, 6, 7 games, that starts to matter even more.
Yep, 100%. You don't know who's going to have the game when it comes to the Pacers. Right. It is the ultimate team ball. And it's the reason why the Pacers won this series, because they're a better basketball team, Cody. They're a more fundamentally sound, more disciplined, and more evenly distributed and efficient team. They don't have to rely upon 2 guys to be the reason why they stay in games. Now, albeit if Tyrese Halliburton wasn't doing well, then, we see a huge drop off in offensive efficiency. No doubt about that.
Sure.
But as far as the whole team's aspect, you don't have that significant drop off if you don't have somebody putting up 30, 40 a night. So definitely a great one there. Let's go to the team stats here. Pacers shooting an even 50% on the day, 39% for the Cleveland Cavaliers. 3-point percentage wise, both teams shooting 35 threes tonight, Cody. The Pacers with 43% and the Cavaliers with 26%. So again, another awful shooting night from 3, which, that was shocking to me, just how bad Cleveland was with shooting threes in this series. They were bad, Cody. It was regardless of whether or not Donovan might have a little bit of an excuse because his ankle was terrible, but their whole team this series was terrible shooting the 3.
Well, here's my thing, man. Like, people say, oh, why do teams always, are terrible against the Pacers, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, okay, it can't be a coincidence that these teams all of a sudden can't shoot. Like, the Pacers are doing something, obviously, that's impacting these teams.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, like, having players not 100%, that definitely matters. I'm not going to discount that. But there's something to this. It's not just, the Pacers are getting lucky. Like, they're clearly doing something that's impacting. And Derek, we've talked about it. Their defense, they aren't perfect, but their defense is so much better than it was even a year ago in the playoffs at this time.
The Pacers dictate the pace, Cody. I know it's a pun, but it's true. They dictate the pace of the game almost at all times. Outside of the first 16 minutes of this basketball game, the Pacers were in control. of the pace from the back half of the game to the very end of the second quarter. I mean, and that's how it typically is. They dictate the pace because they're always looking to go in transition in fast break. Their offense is constantly moving. It's constantly moving. And then defensively, they are always attacking you. They are always putting pressure on you. It's no wonder, Cody, that at the end of the game, Donovan Mitchell was missing all those shots because he was gassed. You could see it. He was gassed. These Cleveland Cavaliers players were gassed out of their minds. They were just not able to keep up with the pace of the Indiana Pacers. They just couldn't keep up with the mileage that it put on their bodies versus the Indiana Pacers doing it.
Well, you look at it too, like how many guys, like Mobley and Mitchell, all 38 and 37 minutes there. So like that's a ton. Garland has 33. So yeah, I mean, pretty much all of your starters outside of one had 30 or more minutes in game 5. So yeah, that's also what happens when you kind of lack some quality depth there as well. But yeah, you're right. The Pacers, they're just so like relentless in what they do. Like they never stop attacking. You always have to be on your guard. And if you're not, you're going to pay the price. So yeah. And just the way that the Pacers also, Derek, they just dictate it in terms of they want to get the best shot possible, right? Like they don't just take these wild shots. Like they'll pass it around. That's why the Pacers pretty much every game that they play, that they do well in, they're far and away the better team in terms of assists, because
it's been a while, Cody, since I've seen like a series or even like a plethora of time where the Indiana Pacers are not the more efficient team at shooting the basketball and passing the basketball. I mean, there's a reason why, because this team has better ball movement than every other offense out there.
Yeah, and credit to Rick Carlisle and company. I mean, just an absolutely masterclass offensive performance again. So, yeah, and even when you're struggling, like you can still have the ability because the infrastructure's in place there, right? Like you may not always get your shots to fall down. You may have rough quarters, but at the end of the day, that infrastructure's still there. And even if you have a rough quarter or a rough half or even a rough game, like you can always bounce back because you're being put in the best position to win and score. So yeah, I mean that credit to him, man. He's taken a lot of flack, and definitely I would say Rick Carlisle, he has his flaws for sure, but dude, we got to give him some freaking credit, man. Like absolutely we'll just call it. He absolutely outclassed and outcoached Kenny Atkinson in this series. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Going forward here, free throws. Again, the Cavs almost doubling the free throws that the Pacers had tonight. Crazy. But the Cavaliers shooting only 70% from the floor. So that definitely is not a great stat. Usually they're a lot better at their free throws than that. And what was killer was those 3 free throws that Donovan Mitchell missed. I know he got a 3 very shortly after that happened, but that was a huge blow in that particular moment. Rebounds, pretty much the same, 47 Pacers, 46 Cleveland. Assists, Pacers blew out the Cavaliers in assists. The Cavs had 10 assists to the Pacers 26. Definitely could see who was the better.
Here's a crazy thing. Tyrese Haliburton almost alone had more assists than the entire Cavs team. He had 8 assists by himself. Yeah.
I mean, it goes to show you again just how Cleveland runs their offense. And it was crazy because, again, in that first 16 minutes, the Cavaliers did a great job of distributing the basketball amongst everyone, and it was getting them open shots. They didn't start doing that after a while. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland took it upon themselves to try to be superhero mode, and it cost the Cavaliers the ability to have an efficient offense. It happened so many times throughout this series. And again, ultimately one of the biggest reasons why they lost. Pacers had 14 turnovers to Cavs 12. Ironically enough, the Cavaliers actually had more fast break points tonight than the Pacers. Pacers struggled early in the game to be able to get anything going from a fast break standpoint. So not surprised by that. And then 44 points in the paint for the Pacers to the 50 for Cleveland. 27 fouls to 23 fouls in favor of Cleveland. Yeah, I mean, and again, Cody, just to go from being down 19 to being up by 12 in a matter of a quarter, not even a quarter and a half. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible work.
It's insane. Yeah. And you just never, it's like crazy because you never know what this team can do, man. Like they're never out of it because they're so like we said, like they are so active everywhere, man. Like they're never down and out. That's something I just appreciate about them. Like even in the games they don't win, like even in game 3 where they were just terrible, like they still tried to keep that. Like they still had some sort of fight in them. Now it wasn't what it's been, but you know what I mean? Like this team consistently fights. So yeah, it's pretty impressive to see.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the individual numbers here. Let's take a look at the Cavs real quick. Yep. Mobley, 24 points tonight, 37 minutes, 8 of 12 from the floor, 7 of 9 from the free throw line, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks. Again, Cody, Mobley should have been a bigger part of the offense today. Don't know what happened after that first half, but they went away from him fast. Jarrett Allen, only 9 points tonight, 4 of 6, though, from the floor. Again, I don't know what it is, Cody. Like, I think Jarrett Allen, they play him a lot early, and then they go away from him so quickly. Yeah. I know that he's a guy that needs to have the ball passed to him in order for him to be involved in the offense. But, like, they really use him well early in games, and then they just go away from him. It's truly shocking to me. Max Struss, 0 points tonight, 0 burgers, 0 of 9 from the floor tonight. It was not a good night for Max Struss. Had 7 rebounds, 2 assists. He had 4 more fouls tonight than he did points. So that tells you anything.
Hey, you know what? After last game, man,
he deserves it.
It makes me happy. I'll say that.
He deserves it. Yeah. He sucks.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So Darius Garland, only 11 points tonight, 33 minutes, Cody, 4 of 16 from the floor, shot 25%, missed all 6 3-pointers tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, Cody, they were the starters tonight. So 19, 25, 27. They were 5 of 27 from 3-point range, the starters tonight. That is under 20%.
That is insane. Dude.
That is so bad. Yeah. It is so bad beyond all recognition. Yeah. But yeah, so and then obviously Donovan Mitchell, 38 points tonight, or 38 minutes, 35 points. Almost had more points than the rest of the starting unit combined. 8 of 25 shooting, as I said before, 4 of 13 from 3, 15 of 21 from the free throw line, had 9 rebounds. Then you go into their bench. DeAndre Hunter, 12 points tonight on 30 minutes, shot just under 50% from the floor, 5 rebounds, assists, and a steal. Dean Wade, 19 minutes, only had 4 points. I'll tell you what, man, that was a mistake by the Cleveland Cavaliers to have Ty Jerome sitting on the bench as long as they did. I know that hindsight is 2020, Cody, because the last couple games, Ty Jerome has been a complete liability offensively for Cleveland.
Yeah.
But man, he came in on that third quarter and he gave Cleveland some light.
Yeah,
that light that they didn't even know that they had.
Yeah, he did. You're absolutely right.
So, but yeah, I mean, again, that's the thing for Cleveland. They some of their role players actually did their jobs tonight, but their 2 star players did not hold up their end of the bargain. That was an extremely inefficient night shooting the basketball for the 2 stars of the Cleveland offense. Again, 12 of 41 from the floor. That's just under 30% shooting for the night.
Wow, that's bad, dude. It's really bad.
Just imagine if they took away about 10 to 15 shots from those 2 guys and evenly dispersed them amongst everyone. I mean, that we're talking a completely different story.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your camera's frozen again, by the way.
Oh, I love when it does that.
But yeah, and then so we move on to the Pacers players here. Siakam, 21 points tonight in 40 minutes, had the most minutes of anyone tonight. Shot 45% from the floor, or shot 40% from the floor. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal, and a block to match. Nesmith, 13 points on 37 minutes, shot 5 of 14. So it was not a good shooting night for Nesmith, but 13 rebounds, Cody, if you can believe that. 13 rebounds from Nesmith. Actually had the most rebounds of anyone today. 2 assists, 2 steals. Miles Turner, 10 points on 33 minutes. Didn't have a great shooting night either. He had the fewest shots of any starter tonight. Did have 7 rebounds as well. Had 4 blocks as well tonight. So it was a definite defensive star underneath. Nembhard, 18 points on 37 minutes. Shot 60% from the floor. 3 rebounds, 6 assists, a steal, and a block as well. And then, of course, Tyrese Halliburton, as we mentioned earlier, the star of the game. 31 points on 36 minutes, shooting 67% from the floor, 60% from 3, 83% from the free throw line, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, a steal, and a block to match. Outside of that, honestly, Cody, the best bench player that you had tonight was Thomas Bryant. 9 points on 11 minutes, shot 67% from the floor, had a couple rebounds, had a steal in there as well. So you didn't really get a ton from your bench guys tonight, which is a rare commodity. Saw a lot more happen from your star point guard than anything else.
Well, also, this was a night, Derek, where you dove so much into your bench in the last game, you could afford to have your starters playing 35 plus minutes, right? And you mentioned it. Siakam had 40 minutes. Nembhard had 37, Nesmith 37, Halliburton 36, and Turner 33. So this was very much a starter-heavy game, and it should have been. I mean, this is what it's for, man. Like, it's for winning this series. So, yeah, you did. I think that was a good call by Rick Carlisle there. I mean, the most minutes that anybody had was Obi Toppin and Ben Shepherd with 12. So, yeah, it was just one of those nights, man, where they didn't get a lot of run, and frankly, they didn't need to.
Yeah. The Pacers definitely needed to keep their starters out there for a little bit longer than they usually do. Had to get back into a rhythm, and they were able to do that late in this game.
Yep.
I mean, Cody, that's a phenomenal win, and I mean, unbelievable. Love to see it. And now the Indiana Pacers, man, back to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 2nd straight year. I mean, that we're not going to get any respect from anyone, man. But I mean, we know it's time to say, I think the Indiana Pacers might actually make it to the national championship, bro. I think they might make it to the
NBA Finals, bro. NBA Finals, bro.
NBA Finals, man. I think they might make it.
You said national championship. You still got football on the mind, bro.
I know, right? But no, man, they got it. I think they make it, bro. I don't care who they're playing next. It could be the Knicks. It can be the Celtics. I don't care.
You're playing that good.
I really think if you see the Pacers play the way that they are, they're going to wear down the Knicks. They're going to wear them down. And I think it's going to be a game 7, but I think the Pacers are going to win it.
You do? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah, man. That's exciting stuff. I am so excited. Just just the growth and maturity from this group. I mean, it's cool to see, isn't it? Like even from last year when we watched them go to the playoffs and everybody was like, "Oh, this is a Cinderella run." And it's like, "No, that wasn't just a fluke. That was a warning. That was a warning. We're coming. We're going to be relevant." And here we are a year later, back-to-back Eastern Conference final chances here. And, oh, man, a chance, Derek, a chance to compete for your first championship as a franchise. That's exciting.
Yep, absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. The Indiana Pacers have finally done it, and they are back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yep.
The job is not done. Got 8 more wins. You got to get 8 more wins to get the job done. We'll worry about whoever our opponent is when we get there, but we got to get there first. So go and finish the job.
Yeah.
Get through that Eastern Conference Finals. Make it to the NBA Finals for the first time. And I don't know how many years, Cody, but it's been a while. It's been a hot minute. So I really hope that we see them do it, man.
I don't even know when it's been, honestly. It's been probably, the 90s, 80s, somewhere around there?
At least.
Somebody in the chat, let us know. We're not as much of the connoisseurs of the Pacers history as we are Colts, but we're working on it. We're getting there. So, but yeah, I mean, certainly exciting opportunity. And Derek, honestly, the best I've felt about the Pacers' chances to get to the NBA Finals, I think, Derek, honestly, since Paul George days. I think so. When that team, you remember that team, they were that close. They were that close to beating LeBron and getting.
They were close. So. They were close, and you're right. I think this is the most buzz you've had around this team in over a decade. I mean, really, because this is the last. I mean, especially knowing what's about to come up, right? Because even if somehow, some way, Boston ends up beating the Knicks in 7. I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know if they can do it, but if they happen to do it, you're going to be without their best player. And then, of course, with the Knicks, I mean, this is the same Knicks team. We beat them last year. I know that obviously this Knicks team is a little bit different because they have Karl Anthony Towns now in this. So it obviously is a little bit different of a situation, but we know we can beat this team. We know we can beat the Knicks.
And also the Pacers aren't the same team they were a year ago. So there's a lot of factors for sure. So could it be, they call it Hicks versus Knicks? Could it be Hicks versus Knicks? We'll see. But I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to see what happens tomorrow. And I mean, honestly, like if it goes to another game, I mean, that's just helpful to the Pacers. If Boston's able to sneak a game out here, that's just more helpful to the Pacers. Gives them more time to rest, and whoever they face, whether it's the Knicks or the Celtics, they're going to be more beat up. I mean, they play more games. So that's definitely an advantage for sure.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Let us know your thoughts. Thank you guys again so much for all the support. Super excited to see what this team can do going forward. We're making it one more step to that NBA Finals. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. And as always, go Pacers.